2021. Wow! It is 2022, people. And I am screaming because let me tell you, I have had a terrible past 2 months. So being on this screen is giving me some energía and some livelihood. Let me let you in on a secret. I have been super miserable. I've always been transparent. I always tell you guys how I feel. I have had a very difficult time being positive for the past 2 months. I'm telling you, strife has hit me. Sickness, death, corona, all types of craziness. No car, just everything that would make you unhappy has super made me unhappy for the past 2 months. But I had someone kick me in my butt the other day and say, Christina, get rid of that negativity. You need to change your energy. You need to change what you're feeling. Write yourself a new narrative. Bring yourself back. Remind yourself who you are and why you do what you do. And I reminded myself that when I'm on this screen, con todos ustedes every week, I feel amazing. So I am here. Welcome back, people. A new year. Feliz Año Nuevo. 2 weeks later, but still feels the same, right? So I'm so excited to be back on the screen with you guys. I see the numbers going up. I see the people coming in. Thank you. Welcome for being here tonight, for super being supportive. I am excited. There's so many exciting things happening for Love Shouldn't Hurt this year. 2022, I am claiming it is going to be phenomenal, amazing, superb, stupendous. But let's start the show off. The last time we saw you, as I stated, it was 2021. It was Christmas. We were just reminding ourselves of the positivity of Christmas, what our traditions are, and we were also remembering and honoring the memory of Veronica Perez, who unfortunately is no longer here with us. But we want to remind folks, and even in the discussion tonight, that manipulation, emotional, mental abuse is a real thing. So we will continue to remember Veronica tonight and always remember to say her name and others' names. If I cough, people, let me be honest, I just burnt some food. So my throat is on fire right now because the smell of the fire is still going on in my home. So don't mind me. Tonight, before we get into our topic, let me remind you while we're here, you see the number scrolling across that screen. If you, someone you love, someone that you know, admire, or always are around is dealing with domestic violence, you can reach out to the National Domestic Violence Hotline at 1-800-799-7233. You can reach out to us at loveshouldnothurt.com or any of our social media platforms. I want to give you some updates on all of the things that we did before the ending of the year, but I will do that during my final thought because I want to get into tonight's topic because I said it, we were going to return con la fierra. So we're back, we're excited, and tonight's topic, as you see, as it's going across the screen, is manipulation. That is something that is major for most of my clients when they contact me. It is also a major conversation because I have lived with so much of that throughout the past few years. Wanted to be able to have an amazing conversation. So to have an amazing conversation, you have to have amazing and phenomenal guests. Super excited to welcome this beautiful woman to the screen. I love her. We met by chance. And now I love her to death. She's so amazing. You people know Miss Betty D because my girl got some vocals. And we were all jamming to her music and continue to jam to her music now because she's phenomenal. So I am going to welcome the amazing, the beautiful, and talented Miss Betty D.
Hi,
Hi,
hola,
amor.
hermosa. Hola, mi amor. I'm so happy to be here. Hello, everyone. Happy New Year. Happy New Year to you, beautiful lady. Now, listen, I know that
Thank
she's the
you.
most transparent woman and she talks about her, but I am sending you like barrels and bushels and truckloads of love and positivity.
I'm
I'm
taking
sending
it.
it out to you. You know,
Taking it.
you're my dear sister. So I know that this has been a trying year for all of us, not just, I know for you, for me. I mean, and we're here to talk about it. We've got a very important topic to talk about tonight. And I just want to say I'm so honored that I am here with you tonight. The first show of 2022, Love
Yes.
Should Not Hurt.
Yes.
Here
And
we
the
are.
beginning of year 4 for our organization. So
Yes.
listen, phenomenal things are ahead of us. Super excited. Miss Betty D, what has been going on for you in 2021? What can we expect from you that's new that we don't know about for 2022? You got any
Well,
secrets?
2021 was a roller coaster, right? I thought when we went into a lockdown, we've talked about this, right? We went into a lockdown, I didn't know if I was ever going to perform again. You know, like shows were canceled left and right. The whole city was shut down. Slowly, we started coming out of this pandemic, and I was able to come out and perform again, reconnect with the audience, do what I love, right? And then, of course, now we're back at it. Winter is here. We have so many family members, friends. It's kind of like this whole roller coaster is happening again, where we're losing people again. Not that we ever stopped,
Yeah.
and it takes its toll on us a little bit, you know. So I kind of have been pulling back a little bit, kind of recentering, regrouping, trying to find my flow and my zen, you know, trying to find that happy place. So, you know, not that I'm never happy, but I think I need to reflect and just figure out 2022 is going to be a big year for me. I think a lot of changes are coming through. I'm not ready to discuss them just yet,
That's okay.
but a lot of big things are happening this year. It's terrifying at the same time as it is exciting. So I like to think that um, if you're not scared about doing something that's really exciting and new for you, then you know, like, what's the point? I do half of the things in my life scared. So I'm looking forward to 2022. We're going to be out. There are shows that are coming up. Hopefully we open by spring, summer, and you'll be seeing me out there.
Woohoo! And then I can go to one of them and try to serenade you again live.
I will bring you up on stage. You are not going to be serenading me. You are going to be doing, I will serenade you. You
I got to
deserve
get my vocal cords together. Well, thank you again so much for being here, Betty D, Miss Betty D. I got an inbox from someone today that said, "Is she gonna sing?" I was like, "Listen, we're talking about domestic violence. I don't think she's gonna sing." We'll do that on Bomba Live. We'll do that on Bomba
We'll do
Live.
it. Yes, yes. We'll do it on Bomba Live. You know you're the family.
That is awesome. So listen, we've got a lot of energy and we're both like
Mhm.
smiling, but the topic is a super serious topic, you know. Manipulation
Absolutely.
is super duper like it's like one of the main focuses in domestic violence, especially like, you know, manipulation happens in all relationships and friendships, in partner relationships, at work. Manipulation is huge. And I think that that's the reason why some people think that it's not abuse. They don't think that it's something that's so major because it's become such a regular thing that happens. You know, I get manipulated at work. I get manipulated through friendships. So people just think it's normal, but they don't realize that it plays such a major role, especially in domestic violence. So my first thing is, what do you consider manipulation? Like, what has been your experience? What is your thoughts on what manipulation is? And then we'll talk about what the definition is.
Well, manipulation for me has been, in my experience, is someone who has tried to make me believe that my reality was not the right reality. They were making me think that what I believed to be true was not, and were adamant about, you know, the treatment that I was receiving was, you know, all in my head.
Mhm.
And changing situations around and saying things to me to make me believe that everything that I was feeling that this person was doing to me was not wrong, that it was
Mhm.
okay, that I'm not doing this. You're the one that thinks I'm doing this. So therefore, you know, it's all on you. You're the one that's
Right.
making this up. So, you know, feeling very manipulated and someone using their power over me to take advantage of situations, whether you know, personally, professionally. Um, we are manipulated every day by society, by the media, by ourselves, by our family. So yeah, that's what I think manipulation is. Their ability to hold their power over me in a particular situation.
Absolutely. That's a good way, and I think that that's something that we've all kind of experienced. Excuse the cough. It's just nonstop. I
You're
will say this, besides burning the food, I also had a spout of bronchitis. So the cough has like stayed forever. So if I cough in between, I apologize.
no,
I think that that we have dealt so much with manipulation that I'm sorry. For myself, it's been something that feels constant, like something that I have not been able to kind of like get away from, you know? Even in my most recent relationships, manipulation has played a huge role. And, you know, saying things are not the same reality is kind of like what I felt like I dealt with constantly. You know,
Mhm.
just whenever arguments would occur or other, you know, interactions, it was like, oh, You're upset. Well, I didn't do that. You did that. You don't realize you did that. You did that. Or doing things like recording you when you're arguing, but they don't realize that like they got you so angry that now you get to the point where now you look crazy and you do look like something is wrong with you. But it's more because they don't realize that they have antagonized you to that point that now you turn around and you look crazy, right? You look like you're this psychotic woman that has all these head
Mhm.
issues. And then you sit back right the next day and you think to yourself, damn, that was really ugly. Like, am I crazy? Is something wrong with me? No, because then you realize I was antagonized to get to that point. I remained calm. I remained cool. I remained okay until you absolutely got me to that point. And now I'm losing my shit.
But then they make you feel, the person is making you feel that the reaction that you are having is not, it's not a warranted reaction.
Right.
They forget that they were the reason, that person was the reason for the reason for that reaction. So
Absolutely.
it's crazy where I'm looking at the things, reactive abuse, right?
Mhm.
uh, they make you feel as if, okay, this treatment that I'm receiving, that you're throwing at me, that you're treating me this way, but I'm not supposed to react to it.
Yeah.
And but when you do, of course, we do look like the crazy person. But we're
Mhm.
human. We're not built to sustain that type of abuse and be sane and be okay with it.
Absolutely.
Talk about it.
Absolutely. So the technical definition is, what does manipulation look like in a relationship? The technical definition is emotional manipulation occurs when a manipulative person seeks power over someone else and employs dishonest or exploitive strategies to gain it. Unlike people in healthy relationships, which demonstrate I'm sorry, I want to cough. Reciprocity
Okay.
and cooperation, an emotional manipulator looks to use, control, or even victimize someone else. Which exactly, Anira says reverse psychology. That's a
Reverse.
huge part of manipulation because they're making you feel like you're the issue when in fact they're the issue. They're the one who caused the drama or caused you being so angry or you being so hurt. But then at the end of the argument, you're like, damn, was it my fault? What did I do to make that happen? And then you're like, how did this situation end up on me? How did I end up being that
Exactly.
person?
Classic gaslighting, right? Like
Absolutely.
we have now learned all these new terms for things. Gaslighting is basically someone sitting there changing your narrative as you are speaking it. And not only are they changing it, they're making you question your own reality.
Yes.
So much so, and the power, okay, the manipulative actions and the power that they hold over you for whatever reason make you believe that.
Yeah.
You start questioning your own reality and thinking, wait, no, I didn't just experience that. You didn't just hit me. You just didn't verbally abuse me. You
Right.
didn't you didn't do all these things. I was the one that created all of this, and you kind of are putting yourself outside of your own person.
Right. Yeah. It happens all the time. And I think that, like I stated when I put this out so many times throughout the past 2 days, and pretty much just saying, why do women and men stay? And I had people question me, like I was at work today and someone said, well, what does manipulation have to do? And I get it. I never ever look at someone like, are you serious? Because I think that
Mhm.
unless you're educated or you've lived through those moments, you really don't understand how
Mhm.
that could play such a major role. But manipulation is probably one of the biggest reasons why someone stays in an abusive relationship, because you are manipulated to believe so many things that are contrary to what's really happening. And that was my next question. How can manipulation cause a victim to stay? You can absolutely cause a victim to stay for years by manipulating them because they could believe that what they're going through is so terrible. And then for them, it's like, no, it wasn't that bad.
They make you believe that. So what happens is you're in a situation that um, deep down psychologically you are hoping that things will change.
Yeah.
Okay. The other person, the abuser, will say all of the right things to make you believe that they will change. So, in the hopes, so you're sitting there waiting patiently. Okay, maybe this person will change because they said so. They said they would do, A, B, and C. They said, I'm sorry. Apologizing after, the treatment of abuse, that is the biggest form of manipulation. And you are sitting there stunned that this has happened again, right? And they ask, why do you stay? It's such a complex question
Question.
as to why you stay. You could stay out of fear. Manipulation is the biggest, I think, one of the biggest contributors of you staying, because it encompasses so many different emotions, levels, incidences, you know, types of abuse, verbal, mental, physical. All of those things can
Yeah.
play into manipulation. So, it it's a situation that they want to change, but the manipulation of the words and the emotions just doesn't let them go. They really psychologically and emotionally feel they might change, and things
Yeah.
might change. But
Absolutely. I see that someone wrote something about that's all they know, or they can't do better. In my experience, because I also, if anybody that's new that's watching, welcome and thank you. I always speak from a firsthand experience, and I always say we are not therapists. We are not like, this is not our
mhm,
specialty. These are conversations because they're conversations that need to be had. So, in doing that, I make sure that I'm very transparent and that when I speak from first person. So, through my own experiences, I was in a relationship for 6 years. And that relationship may have been the just the far worst of my abuse. I mean, because it encompassed every single form of domestic violence. It was emotional, it was financial, it was physical, it was just anything you can think of in that relationship through 6 years. I went through it all. I may have dealt with other relationships prior to that. And obviously, I know now because of my lack of self esteem and my lack of self respect, I stayed in them and I dealt with different forms. But that one may have been my worst. And during that time, those were the things that made me stay. The manipulation, like, well, he banked on everything he knew bothered me. I hate my teeth. I've always hated my teeth. I got this tooth that sticks out, hate it. So he would say things like, well, you need to get your teeth done. You're not attractive. You're lucky that I'm with you. So I would go out and I think I look good. And he'd be like, you could lose a little bit of weight. Like, you think you look good, but that's not what others see. So
mhm,
you're lucky that you have me because if I wasn't with you, you'd be alone. And these are the things that stay with you. I went on in life and then I dated more losers who treated me that way because in my mind, those things were already embedded. Well, I'm not as skinny as I should have been. I don't have abs. My teeth are jacked up. I got a big forehead. Like just negative things that were embedded in me is what I took with me. And, I could sit there and say, no, I know that I'm amazing. I'm doing great. And then that person, says what they say. And then in my mind, I'm like, oh my God, he could be right. Maybe that is the way that I look, manipulating the situation. And people are like, manipulation can't make a person stay. It can. And manipulation is probably one of the biggest things because everything that they do in this relationship has manipulated me to think certain ways, like in my last relationship, it was videotaping me constantly whenever we fought, constantly, and then telling me, like, you're crazy. You are crazy. Like, something is wrong with you. You have mental health issues. And that in itself made me feel like I'm just going to stay here because who else is going to deal with me? I'm crazy. And it's like, there ain't nothing crazy about me, bro.
mhm.
You got me there. You got me hyper. You got me angry. But now you have me on tape. So it looks like I'm crazy. And that's what happens in a lot of these relationships. We stay, we stay, we stay. And even like you said, they'll hit you, they'll beat you up, you'll have a black eye, you'll do all of the above. But then it's, I'm gonna be better. Babe, it's gonna be better. That was just one time. I love you. Let's go out, let's do something nice. And then weeks later it happens again. And it happens again. Manipulation is one of the biggest things. And I hope that people that are watching that are experiencing different things are taking what we're saying because again we're not professionals in these topics. We have these conversations because of what we've dealt with, personal experiences. And I hope that through the conversations, what I always say when we have these shows, people say, oh damn, she dealt with that. I guess that is abuse. That's what I hope for whenever we get into these conversations. So I've said it right. My next question was, have you ever dealt with manipulation in any of your relationships that you didn't believe were like abusive relationships, just relationships that you've been in?
Oh, absolutely. I had what I call the toxic relationship, like the one and only toxic relationship that I ever had in my life. I had, and it was eye opening.
Hmm.
It was traumatic,
Yeah.
but it wasn't physical abuse. It was pretty much, what we talk about, that manipulation, that gaslighting, that you are looking at this relationship from one standpoint and you are receiving this abuse and not realizing that it is a psychological abuse on a daily level. When you start questioning your own sanity and you start behaving in a manner that you're not used to, and people, like there are all these things online that they talk about. Oh, if the woman is crazy, are you doing something to make her crazy? Like they have these crazy men, but it's true. I was in a relationship like that where I felt the need to be with this person and be with him, um, and depend on him. I became codependent, because
Yes.
everything that he was saying to me, um, I believed. I believed everything that he said. The hard part about that is that as a very self-confident woman, I felt my self-confidence just be stripped away little by little. And it wasn't all in one shot. It was, you feel, like a self-confident woman, you feel like you're in a really good relationship, you're happy. And when things start going wrong and it starts to kind of fall back on you, and
Mhm.
that's when you start seeing the little changes in it. Now, what I've realized, and I'm hoping this really helps a lot of women out there, because you see most people like, yeah, she's so happy and confident. What happens on the inside is you're so busy trying to hold up that persona, okay, that you will
Mhm.
do anything to make sure that you stay in that lane, stay in that happy lane, and you will swallow anything that's happening in your private life. And that's what I did. But the fact of the matter is that I was losing confidence every day. I was doubting myself. I wasn't that very confident woman. Like he made me feel like I really didn't deserve to be loved and to be um, respected. I almost kind of lost that sense of loving myself because he was making me feel like that.
Yeah.
And I let him bring me down into that space. But one of the things that I learned from that whole experience is that as much as you say, okay, I need to leave because
Mhm.
he's not good for me,
Yeah.
but I couldn't leave.
Yeah.
Couldn't leave. I couldn't walk away. I couldn't. It was almost like I felt that I deserved that treatment.
Yes.
You know, I deserved that treatment for what I had done in relationships past.
Right.
Yeah, I don't deserve to be treated, like an
Better.
amazing woman. I just felt like, no, I deserve this. This is how I was before, and this is the treatment that I should be getting. And it's okay because it's not that bad.
Right. Right.
At the end of the day, you really start to see that it's about yourself. It has nothing to do with that other person. It's about how you feel about yourself and where your self-esteem is. How much do you love yourself enough to
Yes.
say, wait a minute, that's not me.
Yeah.
I'm not that person.
Yeah.
I am not the weak, like, and these are words that you
Yeah.
hear. It's like, no, you're weak, you need me, those kinds of things. You need me, baby. It's, this is what, the whole like you and I together it was a very toxic relationship where I was outside of myself
Yeah.
and I was not who I used to be. And it came from a need to feel loved and accepted.
Yeah.
And it came from so many dark places for
Yeah.
me.
Yeah.
But it took a minute to step away from it. It did. But when you do, you also get the guilt of doing something that you think they make you feel guilty. Like, so what'll happen
Yeah.
is I felt guilty and they fly right into that zone.
Yeah.
Like, you feel guilty. So then they come right back in circling,
Yep.
and they tell you all of the things that you want to hear so that
Yeah.
you come back.
Absolutely.
I I think you couldn't have said it better. Everything you said is kind of like exactly what I felt during that time. I was outside of myself. I wasn't who I knew that I could be. And something that you said at the beginning, and I feel like that's a part of I'm still working on. of kind of like everything you go through, and not even in relationships, just anything you go through. Let's say, just look at the show,
Mm-hmm.
totally always transparent. I do this show every week. I absolutely love it. I have not been on air for now 3 weeks. Why? Because I have had such a bout of just negativity constantly, just hitting me, just hitting me. And I said to one of my best friends, I cannot get on screen and be this bubbly, happy Chrissy that I am every week when I don't feel it. I
Mm-hmm.
don't feel that. I don't feel like I can get on the screen and just fake it. And I never want to fake it when I am on this screen. I want to make sure that when I am here and I am smiling, that I am genuine and that I mean it. But that is how I was during that time. I had so much negativity being thrown at me by this man and by these different relationships, constantly telling me, like, oh, you go to work every day and you're a counselor and people look to you for advice? Really? Like, do they know you're a head case? Do they know that you're crazy? And I would think about it literally, excuse me, I would be at work talking to my students and I'd be trying to comfort them during their time of need or their sadness or they're just not loving themselves. And I would talk to them, but I'd be second guessing myself because in the back of my mind, I'd be remembering what the man that I have at home is telling me. Like, you're
Mm-hmm.
you're not qualified to say those things. You're crazy. I've had people tell me that about what I do now with Love Shouldn't Hurt. Like, do they know that you're crazy? Do they know that something's wrong with you? And I'm like, yeah, nothing's wrong with me. And I've already dealt with manipulation in my past. So
Yeah.
we're not gonna do that again as an adult. But it happened during that time. And during that time, I found it difficult to leave the relationship because that is exactly it. When they see that they've already got you in that dark place, they keep on. They keep on with it, like, oh, all right, she already believes it. So then you come home and you're just like, and he's
And
like, what's
it
wrong with
happens that
you?
first time, right? And then you think, okay, I'm going to nip this in the bud.
Yeah,
I'm going to take care of this because this is not right.
yeah.
So the first time, like you feel that real like manipulation and it's wrong,
Hmm.
and it's almost like people talk about red flags going off and
Yeah.
they go off. I don't know how my whole entire life I've been able to see like red flags and like be really a strong-minded woman. And then I thought, wow, this is it. I'm finally in a relationship where I feel like, and great, perfect guy, right? Was, when we were together, it was really great.
Hmm.
It's really amazing. Um, always said, I love you, said the right things, right? But you knew in your head that something was really, really wrong. And
Yeah.
when confronted, and here's something that we don't realize, when we actually feel like intuitively we know what's happening and you have proof and you see it, when you approach them and you confront them with that, and they're still looking at you like, no, you're crazy. That's when it starts to happen. That's when the second and third and fourth time starts to happen. Because the first
Absolutely.
time you confront it thinking that you're being strong and you're being like this, really strong woman, I'm gonna nip this in the bud. I'm taking care of it. I'm gonna make sure you know that I know what you're doing. Yeah, no. Somehow, whatever it is that's going on in here as well, affects that.
Mhm.
We have to be aware of that. We have to be aware of ourselves first. And we're reading that that just doesn't happen in relationships with men and
No.
women. It happens with your parents. It happens
Mhm.
with your mother. I can go on about, like how I have struggled with family, with friends, who have manipulated me in ways that I thought I couldn't recover from.
Mhm.
I was professionally manipulated, financially. I've gone through so many things in life that would make you think like, wait a minute, is there something wrong with me that people keep doing this to me?
Yeah,
So you kind
absolutely.
of doubt yourself too.
Yeah. So I have a good last question, but I'm going to do our half point. And then I'm going to ask this because I think that this actually spiked some interest when I posted it on my Facebook page last week, and people were like, "Oh my God!" And they were commenting and commenting. So I want to get back into that question,
Okay,
but
good,
let's
good.
do our normal half point reminder so people, can know why we're here. Just a reminder for folks if you're just logging in or you've been on, and just a reminder of why we are always here. You see that number scrolling across the screen, and we constantly place it up there because someone could be watching, someone could be at the point where they need to contact someone. So if someone you love, someone you know is dealing with any form of domestic violence, you can reach us at 1-800, not us, the National Domestic Violence Hotline, 1-800-799-7233. You can reach myself and my team at loveshouldnothurt.com or any of our social media platforms. So, a question that I had posed on my Facebook page the other day to kind of get this ball rolling, why is it that women and men, I put both because I never just single out women, can know that their partner is cheating and know that they're in another relationship, and they go out of their way to find everything out? I want to see pictures. I want to see videos. I want to know if he's really your boyfriend, if she's really your girlfriend. And then they find out everything. Like everything's out on the table, cards are out, and they're heartbroken and they're like dead from everything that they found out. And they're like, I'll never deal with it again. I'll never. And then they stay. And they just remain with that person forever, and it just goes on. And I got a bunch of amazing responses.
Let's
So
hear.
as
Let's hear it.
I'm gonna look for the responses because like
Mhm.
these ladies were going in. I was like, yes,
Okay.
really like
Okay.
enjoying the question. So I'm gonna go find that because I thought that was awesome. I hope these people, aren't like, oh, she's gonna mention it, but let's just do it. Let's just do it. Why do they stay? I'm trying to get there. Looks like a lot of people been writing to me. Here we go. So the first one says, this is from Teresa. Teresa is a super, super supportive person. She's always watching. She's always commenting. She says, speaking
Mhm.
for myself, I think I'm addicted to chaos and I want what I want. I certainly have and still remain in a space that is no way healthy for me. And I constantly say it's love. I really don't believe that anymore. I'm just messy. Still trying to figure that out. And maybe I won't. I can't wait to see what other folks say. I need a light bulb to go off right now. That was one of the first conversations. And I think we've all been there. I think we've had messy and chaos, all of us at some
Mhm.
point in our lives. Ileana wrote, I believe that they want to know to prove that it's the truth because deep down they know the truth. But once they find out, they fall in denial and hope for a miracle or change in the other person's behavior. Also, the liars have a
Mhm.
way of convincing otherwise and use their tactics to make you doubt yourself because one is involved emotionally, then it's easy. Once you're involved emotionally, it's easier to put aside the bad and continue having hope and giving chances. With time, eventually, one learns to change for the better and value ourselves the way that we should. I think that's huge,
Absolutely.
huge, because we really think we've learned all these bad things. We know they're capable of all these bad things, but we're like,
Mhm.
when I talk to him, he says that it didn't happen. When I talk to him, he says it won't happen again. When I talk to him, he says she was nobody. And we want to believe that, right? Because we love them. So we're like, all right, I want to believe that this is the truth. And we stay and we stay. And then it happens again. And then again. And then again. And I'm speaking from personal experience. It happened again. And then the
Mhm.
next person wrote to me and I found out again. And then the next person wrote to me and I found out again. And I found out again. And I just stayed and I stayed and I stayed because I was like, he still loves me though, because he's here with me, even though there's been like 10 women he's cheated on me with, and like literally has told those people, and this is verbatim, that I'm garbage, that he was never attracted to me, that I was just a friend, even though he was with me forever. I was just a friend. He didn't love me. He was just there to
Mhm.
support me. I still stayed. And this is a big thing because people, once you find these truths out, they manipulate you into believing, no, babe.
That it's
No,
not
I
so.
never did it. It's not true. You can have a million pictures. You can have them right there. No, it never happened. That wasn't me in the picture. I don't know who that is. But
Or I'm gonna throw this big one out there. You can have the pictures, you can have the proof, you can, and then they finally actually admit it. But they'll say, well, the only reason I act like that is because you make me that way. Because
bam,
didn't you didn't do this. You didn't make me happy.
bam.
If you were more this way, then I wouldn't be that way.
Right.
That is manipulation 101. If
Yes,
you weren't like this, I wouldn't be like this.
Absolutely. That's exactly what I was told. Well, what did you do to make me that way? What did you do? I'm like, I wasn't there. I don't know what I did to make that
Right?
happen.
What did I do? That is, yes. That is, you can have all the proof. Exactly. And then say, why did you stay? But that is on us. We have to look within because this is going to take the work. We have to do the work and
Yeah.
figure out why we are okay with that. It has nothing to do with them. They're going to continue that behavior.
Yes. Here's another one by Joanne. I love Joanne. I'm convinced it's all about the sex. The sex is great, so they ignore everything else so they get seriously hurt.
Exactly.
Yes. This is Jennifer de Jesus. I believe that if the truth about past discretions done to other people, spoken directly from them, it somehow shows that they're at least being upfront about things. Truth and honesty has always been a big factor for me in relationships, but I'm confused that with the idea that they wouldn't do it to me, if that makes any sense. I really thought
Mhm.
I was going to be the one to fix this person, and every time I was proven wrong, I gave the benefit of the doubt to the wrong person. Every time. Every
Yeah.
time. Jackie Negron, I love the best. I love all your comments and I always appreciate everybody's. But Jackie says, I believe the lack of self-love, self-respect plays a huge part. We sometimes tell ourselves that we love and respect ourselves, and deep within we lack it. We
Yes.
also want to believe that we can change a man into loving and respecting us. However, a
Mhm.
man can only change himself. We sometimes enjoy living in a web of lies, hoping for that man to rescue, love, and protect us, knowing he never will. Love should not be forced, coerced, manipulated, or bargained for. Love should be freely given and beautiful. I loved it. I loved it. I loved it because
Yes.
that was my major thing. I stayed so many years because I believed that I could force him to love me the way that I wanted. I could force him to change. I would fix him. He would see that I am a loving individual. He would see that I'm amazing and that I'm beautiful and that even though I'm not perfectly shaped, I love you for who I am. And that is what I did. I fought constantly like, but why would you do this? I'm here every day. I do everything that you ask of
Mhm.
me. I dress up for you. I do anything you want. Why wouldn't you love me? And it was always, well, there were things you didn't do. There were things you didn't
Mhm.
say. Or if the arguments got nasty, she does this better than you. She looks like this better than you. And instead of me leaving when I should have, I would sit there and try to change myself to be
Tried it.
more like her because
Mhm.
that's what he probably is looking for. And I did that for years and years. And I realized that's because I never loved who Chrissy was and I never knew who she was because I was always trying to please everyone else but myself. Because in my mind, they had already manipulated me to believe that I
Mhm.
wasn't good enough, that I didn't deserve to have love, that I did not deserve to be in a relationship where someone loved me. So I stayed because I figured, what else is
Mhm.
there? No one's ever going to love me. And now I'm 41 years old and still asking myself, yo, bro, how do you get a good relationship? Because I have been, now that I realize and I look back, I'm a good woman. I've done a lot of good things. So why is it that I still have not been blessed with the opportunity to have that love, to have that commitment? You know, the
Mhm.
manipulation for those for those relationships is gone. I know that I'm none of those things. I know that I'm not below that person. I know that I'm not good enough for them. That was just them manipulating me so that they could still stay and that I could forgive them and just move on away from the situation.
Yeah. Well, it all starts with us and it starts with you. So we can talk about all of the things that they've done to us and they do and they will do and they continue and the lies and the manipulation. But at the end of the day, really, like she said, it comes down to self love.
Mhm,
You are first. Ladies, gentlemen, mothers, fathers, you come first. You are the
mhm,
first priority. Everything else comes after that. Once you do that and you can create a healthy environment for yourself with your soul, with your heart, with your mind, you can pretty much thwart off anything. You can just say, okay, this is what's happening to me. Me, take care of me. It's really all about self love and making
yeah.
sure that we take care of number one. in order.
Absolutely. Oh, I'm sorry, I keep coughing both.
No, it's
So
okay.
it is at the 40. I'm gonna look at some of these comments. We have a lot of comments.
I see.
I see. So I'm trying to go back there. Carmen says, yes, love. Gigi Hernandez, my little cousin. Hello, mi amor.
Hi,
Says,
Gigi.
Christina, you're hitting points right now, real eye openers. Um, she also says, that's true. I work with so many women that go through this struggle. I think that's one of our biggest things. Manipulation is so
Yeah.
huge, and women are easily manipulated. Let's be honest. I always say women and men, right? Because this isn't just a topic. Domestic violence isn't just about women, but women are very much more easily manipulated than men are. It's just because of our nature. Women are more like loving and more like
Hmm.
easier because we just want to love you and we want to cuddle you and we want to believe that everything is roses even when it's not. Um, let's see. Carmen says we can never fix anyone. Hello, Carmen, my love.
Hi, Carmen.
Um, DJ Bass says when they lie about who they're messaging or talking to. Absolutely. Rafael Collazo, my big brother, Bomba Live. Hello, hello.
Hey, he's here.
Says thanks for this conversation. Manipulation happens in other family relationships. Absolutely. Parents, siblings, children will manipulate too and create unhealthy family dynamics.
Mhm.
Absolutely. I
Yeah.
have heard that so many times. Um, and that's why, like, we've had conversations at work. Somebody made a comment up there, and I'm gonna find that too. We have conversations about this all the time. These people believe they're not in abusive relationships, right? Because they're not being hit, they're not being smacked. They're like, I'm not in an abusive relationship.
Mhm.
But they have dealt with manipulation on other forms, mental and emotional abuse. Manipulation plays a huge role in that. And I've sat down with people like, you don't think you're in a bad relationship, or you don't think it's healthy? And I mean, you think it's healthy, and they're
Mhm.
like, no, we're good. Like, I know we go through arguments, and I know that he doesn't like who I hang with, or sometimes tells me I shouldn't dress the way that I do. And I know he calls me out of my name sometimes, but he's never hit me, so I'm good. And I'm like, that's not healthy either, hon. Like, he may not hit you, but those words and the way that he makes you feel with those words, think about what you feel like during
Mhm.
those moments. Another male, I love when males comment. Just thinking about how many millions of females are being abused right now is just sickening. God help them. It is sickening. And thank you for watching. It is
Yeah.
terrible. Priscilla Marie Rivera. I've never seen this name, so thank you for joining us. She said manipulation is a form of emotional abuse. And most times I found that because it's emotional abuse, exactly, people don't believe it. Her
Exactly.
words are, well, you never get punched, so you're okay. And I find that truly insane.
Hmm. Well, at least he's not hitting you.
Right.
Maybe go to counseling or go talk to someone. When someone is actively manipulating you, going to a counselor is not going to help, because you approaching this individual to go to a counselor and get help is only going to either one, anger him more, and the manipulation and the abuse will continue and get bigger and greater. It's a point of kind of you really looking at yourself. And I think someone said, I believe it was like, how do you find self-love after getting out of an abusive relationship? um, it's a matter of, sometimes you just gotta, it's like your feet are on the edge of the cliff, right? And just your heels on the hanging, and you know that the front of your foot is right over that cliff. You have to take the leap. And I can't, every woman, man, person is
Different.
different.
Mhm.
It's so subjective and complex. You have to figure out when that last straw hits
Absolutely.
your back. And sometimes that may cause more harm, than helping, because we know plenty of women and men and people who have done that and gotten the last straw and taken the next step and have not survived
Yeah.
when they try to protect themselves. So,
I think my take on the counseling, I think that if you're trying to take an abusive person with you to a counselor or seek therapy, I think 9 times out of 10 that's very unsuccessful, because at this point they have to believe that there's an issue and they
exactly.
have to believe that there's a problem. So unless they do so, it's not going to happen. Now, I think therapy and counseling for yourself is beneficial because, as we continue to say, it's about our self image of ourselves, our self
Mhm.
worth and love. And I think, and I've never been against therapy, because I feel like sometimes an outside person will give you a better perspective than one of your girlfriends because you know your girlfriends are biased. So they're going to say, he's an asshole. Don't be with him. And they think that helps, and that doesn't help. But I think that therapy sometimes can make you see things that you didn't see and make you realize, you know what, you're absolutely right. And can help you through that self love and finding your self worth again and finding you and give you that opportunity because that's something that my sister Jessica said to me. We were having a show last year, and that was something that she said. She said, we tried to get you out of this relationship. We tried to show you that what you were going through was unhealthy. But until you found the line in the sand, it was never going to
Mm-hmm.
happen. And I say that constantly when parents call me and they're worried about their kids, or clients call and they say, I'm ready to go. I'm ready to go. And I say, are you really? Because until you have mastered that, I'm really, really done. I'm ready to take that leap. It's my last train. I'm crossing that sand. I'm done. We can't get there until you are ready. I can't force you to. And I it breaks my heart when there's people who contact me and they're like, I want some help. Help me. How can you help me? Just do it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, how can I? And my first question is always, are you ready, babe? Are you ready to do so? Because I can only take a horse and guide it to water. But I can't get you across that path unless you're absolutely ready to take that leap because we can do everything that we need to do. I can take you to get that protection order. I can sit with you while you go through your court session. I can walk you through relocating you. But then I go home and it's your decision not to drive back to that house. It's your decision not to pick up the phone and call that person again. So you have to have that line in the sand. And manipulation is one of the key things because I always tell people when you leave, that is the hardest part. Leaving's not the hardest part.
Mm-hmm.
It's what comes after. You missing that person. You thinking of only the good times and not the bad times. And then that person, this is the time where the manipulation is going to be huge. Because once you leave, that's when they're, I'll make it better. I'll never do it again. Babe, this was just something that we went through. We're going to work at it. It's going to be fine.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when we have to be able to be like, I'm done, bro. It's not happening. I'm not turning back. We have to just continue to move forward. There was a comment somewhere under here. I'm trying to find it. You can talk while I look for it.
But that's the other thing, the going back to it when it gets to the highest of highs and really
Mhm.
intense, that's when they know that when you walk away and you leave and say I'm leaving, that's when they pull out their best.
Yes.
I mean, they will pull out all the stops. They will tell you whatever you need to hear to make you believe. And here's the thing, we all say, oh, like I said this earlier, right? We're all strong women. I'm a strong person. I'm sane. I'm very logical. But you're right. You have to be ready to say enough.
Yeah.
We never know when that's going to happen, right? But then when you do say enough, it's a matter of committing to that and getting the help you need, not with the person, but getting the help that you need so that you can be able to stay in that safe place, to be able
Yes.
to look at yourself and heal yourself. Go to it's I am a total advocate for therapy to speak about what you have experienced.
Mhm.
I know there's a stigma against people talking to therapists about their issues, especially in Latino culture, right?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
I come from a place where you don't go to therapy. You talk
Yeah.
to your tia, you talk to your mommy. Vamos a tomar un cafecito. We're gonna have a little cafecito. We're gonna talk about it. No, go get the help and the counseling that you need for yourself so that you can understand why this happened.
Yeah.
Because it didn't just happen because, oh, you're just sitting there, you're a really smart woman. There are legitimate reasons why we behave the way that we do, why we let, individuals treat us the way that we do. And it goes back,
Mhm.
it can be something that you have repressed your whole life and didn't know
Mhm.
existed. And just like that, after speaking with somebody, you kind of, you have that breakthrough and that will help you into your next relationship and your next family reunion, however it might be.
Yeah.
It will help you, and that's the help you need to seek.
Absolutely. So I put up Lisette's because she was talking. She's exactly what we were talking about. And it says, yes, you have to be 100% ready to take that leap and not turn back. That is
Mhm.
key, people. You have to be able to take all the shots you're going to get because that's when the battle's going to hit you. When you leave, that's when all the shots are going to be hit. I promise you, I won't change. I promise you, it's going to be better. I promise you, it's going to be flowers and roses every day, and I'm never going to touch you again. And you have to be able to be like, se acabó. No, we're not going back there. I have to be able to say I'm done and really mean it. Christina Marie, which is what you mentioned, was how do you find self-love after getting out of an abusive relationship? Exactly what we're saying, mi amor. It's not easy. It wasn't easy for me. I am 41 and my abuse, the worst, was at 21. But prior to that and after that, I still had to find self love for myself to be where I am today. To be able
Mhm.
to say that when I'm done, I'm done. I'm not dealing with your mierda no more. And to say, I know my value, I know my worth. It takes a long time, but listen, what we're saying, get counseling. There's nothing wrong with that. Sit down and speak to someone who is an outside party and is not biased and will tell you the good, the bad. There's so many things. I'm a counselor, and there's so many things that when my kids don't feel good and my students don't feel good, I do charts with them, positive affirmations, just different things, because these are things that they're not getting at home. They're not things that they get with their friends. They're getting negativity. Put up some cards in your room, put up some stickies. Listen, remind yourself every day of your worth, mi amor. Take a mirror and in the morning, fill that thing up with stickies and leave it there. Take some lipstick. I have a mirror in my room that's body length. It's bigger than me because I'm little. And sometimes I take lipstick and I write on it.
Right.
I love you, girl. You're beautiful, girl. At my desk at work, I put stickies on top of my desk that say, I'm going to feel better. I'm going to do better. Today, you should see all the stickies I wrote because it's been a hard ending to 2021. And my sadness and everything that made me just not feel great has taken over me. And I said it. Today, I'm going back to my show. Today, I am going back to doing what I love. I'm going to make myself happy. My issues are going nowhere, and I cannot change that. But what I can do, like Amanda said to me, is change my narrative. I have to find positivity. So, Christina, whatever you can do, mi amor, to change your narrative, be
Yes.
around positive people. Don't be around naysayers. Positive people, because they will ride on the negativity.
And make sure for anyone who has experienced abuse, one of the number one factors of like really moving forward is to really cut yourself some slack.
Yes.
Forgive yourself. Forgive yourself because it really has nothing to do with you, with us, with them, everything to do with the other person. We tend to kind of blame ourselves and be so hard on ourselves for having allowed that behavior after the fact, right? After now, here's the thing. When you leave, we're talking about Lizette, you have to be ready to leave. When you're ready to leave and you're gone and you're actually gone for a minute, what they don't tell you about is how you start reacting towards yourself after
Mm,
you've left.
yeah.
Okay, you may feel free, you may feel like, okay, this is a new life, but very important for recovery is to actually forgive yourself
Yourself.
first. Do that. And it's not an easy road because you're going to start to look at things and hold yourself accountable for things, but forgive yourself.
Forgive yourself. Absolutely. Mi amor, we are already at 53 minutes. Dios mío. Pera, you singing? No, I'm joking. I'm just playing.
You know me, I'll always break out an acapella.
Woo! I was in the car. Listen, can I tell you a joke? I'm sorry, people. I know this is a very serious topic, but I love to bring some energy, and I've been sad, so I gotta laugh. After I spoke with you earlier today, all day long I was singing your songs. I was walking around the
You
school in the
were.
bathroom.
Because it's all love. I know, like we said, we keep saying this is a very, very serious topic, but let me tell you, we come with love. We come from love.
Yes.
We come despite everything that we have experienced. The great thing about this and this platform that Christine has, and I'm so supportive of it, and I'm so honored when she includes me in all of this, is because it comes from love. And we come from a place of joy and love. So, yeah, you can sing all the songs you want in the
I
car. If
will.
that's what's going to bring you joy, then I'm for it.
I was all day like, I can't explain. Then I was like, oh my God, let me stop singing. My boss was like, what are you singing? He don't know anything about freestyle, but it's this all day long, just singing your music. So that shows you that I love you and I respect you.
I love
So the
you.
last comment from Priscilla says, because we begin to believe the things they said about us, the negatives. It's true. When you leave, you're going to find yourself in that quiet space by yourself now. You're not living with that person anymore. You're not seeing them every day. So you're going to have a lot of quiet time to yourself. And in those times, you're going to think of a lot of the negative things that they've said to you, a lot of the
Mhm.
negative things that they've just brought to you during this time. And you're going to, like Betty said, you need to forgive yourself for believing those things because you
Mhm.
are not the things that they said. Like I said, changing the narrative that they've given you is that you're
Mhm.
crazy. The narrative that they gave you is that you are the problem. Start to change the narrative and remind yourself that
Yeah.
you are beautiful, that you are amazing. And that is why I start a lot of shows saying, you guys are beautiful. I love you. I end shows by telling people you're amazing, you're phenomenal. When I do my lives on Facebook, people text me and say, I love when you do your lives. You get me alive because even if I'm half dead in the morning, and I'm so tired. I really truly feel like you got to remind people early in the morning, find that one positive thing. Because let me tell you, transparency is key for me, and especially this show. I have not been able to find one positive thing in the past few months. And when Amanda said, change your narrative, I've been stewing on that for days. And I said, I need to do my show. I need to go back to doing what makes me happy. I need to do what is making me be who I am. And I need to change this narrative. I am allowing the negativity that's been hitting me to take over me. And that's not cool.
Mhm.
I brought myself out of a negative place years ago and I need to bring myself back. And it's been hard. My dark place has been there for 2 months. But with the positivity that I'm surrounding myself with and with reminders from Amanda to change my narrative, I said, I'm going to be on the show tomorrow. I'm bringing it back because what we do helps other people and makes other people's Tuesday nights great. So let's do it again. Let's be happy and let's be here. So it is 56 minutes in. And we're going to do what we do at the close of the show. I'm going to leave you by yourself, and you are going to give your final thoughts on whatever your little heart is content with. And then I'll be back, Miss Betty Doo.
Thank you. So, for all of you watching, thank you for tuning in. Um, I can't stress enough the need for self love, for self care. I have been part of the music industry for over 35 years. And one of the things that I learned is that getting adoration from crowds for so many years may sometimes make you feel one way. But what it did for me was it made me feel that love is possible in all forms. And self love to me was something that I struggled with. But if we can make one plea to all of you out there, is that to take one moment for yourself, a little moment, light a candle, listen to some music, relax for a minute, and really take a good close look at yourselves and see all the love that lives inside of you. Do it. If that can help you take a step away from abuse or away from any kind of conflict or stress, I hope it does that. So, thank you guys for joining us. I am so honored and so proud to be a part of the Love Shouldn't Hurt family. So, thank you. Thank you for the support that you give.
That you are, because once you mess with me, you stuck with me. Girl. I'm going to give my final thoughts and a few announcements. Y te voy a traer para atrás. So stay back there. I'll be back for you.
Okay.
Good evening, folks. It's almost 8 o'clock. Again, Happy New Year. I know that I have been gone and I've been going through it. But listen, I am here. I am back because, as I said, transparency, you people make me so happy. I love the support. I love what you guys do for me. Let me tell you, I spend most of my days when I get on here filling other people's cups. But I must admit that when I'm down, you guys fill mine completely, ultimately. I have received so much support. Folks have inboxed me like, why haven't you been on? Texting me, are you okay? And just loving on me. And it has nothing to do with boasting, but I love you people. You make me feel loved. You give me the energy. And because of you, I am back on the screen today because I figured, listen, all the sadness, all the strife you've dealt with, those people will get on and bring you back up, and you have. I appreciate you. I love you. And we are here for a reason. So I could not stay away any longer. I was super excited to come on the screen. Thank you so much. I hope you guys receive some informative discussion. Again, we're not professionals. We come here to have hard discussions that not everybody is willing to have, but we do it because we think it's super important. If any of you are ever interested in joining me on screen, do not be shy. It's just like talking with one of your girlfriends. Even if you're a guy, inbox me. You can come on the screen. We can talk about anything. Manipulation has been something that's huge. It's huge for me because it's been a part of who I have been for so long. I've allowed so many people to manipulate my thoughts, my images of who I am as a person, manipulate my career, my life. And I thought that it was something that was super important to discuss because transparency is who I always am. I always say I'm not perfect, woo, in any way. but I love to share my experiences because maybe something I've dealt with or am dealing with can help one of you. So I hope tonight was important for you. I want to remember and honor again and continue to say her name, Veronica Perez, who is no longer with us. We're going to say her name and we're going to say all the names of those people who have been gone or lost due to this terrible bout of violence. So please, please, please remember her. I want to make an announcement. So if you've been watching, you know for some time now that we do our Love Shouldn't Hurt 5K. Last year, we did it in the winter and it was cold. So this year, we did our gala in the winter. That was amazing. And we decided the gala will remain in the winter and our 5K will happen in the spring. So the spring is coming, people. Look past the snow. It is coming. Our 5K this year, we will do together with Victim Services with Concilio. It will be in April or May, most likely, but get yourself ready. If you've already purchased your pass, that is still standing. It is still good. The tickets will go up soon and shortly. We will have our 5K this year again. You will receive goodie bags. There will be amazing vendors again. We will have our amazing and incomparable Mr. DJ Poli, who is my fave, who will be playing music to get you through that 5K. But this year, we want to make sure that all of those who have been lost throughout this year or even in past years are remembered. We are putting up banners to honor and remember your loved ones. If you have a loved one that has been lost due to domestic violence, inbox me their story, inbox me their photos, because we want to put up banners and we want to honor and remember all of those who have been lost due to domestic violence. So you can start now, start sending that to me so that before that time, I have all of your photos and we can honor your loved one during that time. It is a super important thing for me. Our run last year was amazing. We were going through a pandemic, so we had to do it in 3 different hour slots. Every single hour was packed. Families came, and as soon as they got there, they hit the ground running. It was a great day. It was cold, it was raining, and I was worried no one would come, and you guys showed up for us. So this year, we're doing it in the spring. It'll be nicer outside. I want to see all of you there with your families representing. And if you have a loved one that you want to honor, remember, you can email me at Christina@loveshouldnothurt.com or send it to any of our social media so that we can honor your loved one. Updates on our Christmas drive. We had an amazing Christmas drive. Thank you to everyone who donated monetarily or sent in gifts. Our 3 families were ecstatic because we cannot show them because they are relocated families. What I have received are emails and voice messages from those families who have all agreed to allow me to play their thank you messages and to read their emails. So next week, I'll be playing their thank you messages. They were extremely grateful. Everything we do and we receive, we give back. Our 3 relocated families who received gifts had an amazing Christmas. They believed that their children this year would not receive because they were relocated. The mothers, due to their injuries, have not been working. And we were able, because of all of you and your generosity, to give them a phenomenal Christmas. And I am so proud of everything that we do. So thank you and continue to watch every week, to share our shows, to just send people to us, refer if you need that help. If we do not contact you back immediately, check all of our social media, inbox everywhere that you can to make sure that we get message. I love you guys. Next week, we will be back with another amazing guest. And I hope that you will continue to join us. Let's bring Betty back so we can say goodnight.
Thank you
Amore.
so much. And I'm going to say her name too so we can remember. And we never, ever, ever forget Veronica Perez and all of the victims that have suffered from abuse.
Yes,
We're going to keep saying their names.
We're going to say their names. I remind people all the time that Love Shouldn't Hurt began because a friend of mine, Linda Rios, was taken without her consent. Linda Rios, Veronica Perez, everyone out there, continue to say their names. If you have lost someone, continue to say their name. Continue to remind people so that we can continue to put the face out there of domestic violence so that we can put an end to this because it's too much. I'm tired of seeing it. I will continue to push through and fight, even if I'm the only loud Puerto Rican from Philly who's doing it by herself, because we need to continue to remind folks that it is not okay and it has to stop.
Absolutely.
Miss Betty D, I love you, mi amor.
I love you.
Flores. Did you
Big.
see my background? I made it flowers.
I
You're
love
always
it. And you
giving
made it
flowers
purple
to me.
flowers. And I love that they're purple flowers. Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone. I am so honored that you had me here tonight. This was such a good chat. I love you all. I love you big and I love you bigger.
That's right. I always say, I love you to the moon and way past forever.
Mhm.
Have a good night, everyone. See you next week. Thank you for being here with us.